Hare Krishna. Could everyone calm down for a second? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, those in the back, could you please calm down? Mataji's in the back, please. Hare Krishna. If you had any questions about the process of Krishna consciousness, all your questions were answered in that last kirtan. Anything that you needed to know, you just had to listen to that sound vibration, and everything was made very, very clear. After hearing a kirtan like that, I should just say, so, any questions or comments? The truth of Krishna consciousness is revealed in the holy name. And on the first night of this Kirtan Mela, Kirtan Rasa, when Achyuta Gopi led Kirtan, she was telling us it was like a yajnaih, a big yajnaih. Like this is a big yajnaih kund. And everybody who has been in this hall, not just the kirtaniyas sitting up here, but everybody in this hall who has been chanting, you've all been the priests in this yajnaih. And with every one of your breaths, you have chanted every holy name, and those holy names have been filled with the mercy and the grace of your Guru Maharaj. And those holy names naturally are Radha and Krishna. And we've been offering these holy names into this yajnaih. Sometimes in the different ages, they would perform these Vedic sacrifices for such a long time. Even the sages of Naimisharanya, because they wanted to do good for the people of Kali Yuga, they were prepared to sit and put wood and put ghee and put grains and do swaha for 1,000 years. And then later when they heard from Sutta Goswami that the most important thing to do was to always hear and chant and meditate upon Krishna, then they said, yes, we agree. By all of this swaha, the only thing we were getting was our body was getting covered with soot. So we've been performing Nama Yajnaih. This is the yajnaih for the age of Kali. There's that verse in the Bhagavatam And it describes how one great king, Maharaj Nimi, was performing a sacrifice for the auspiciousness and the peace of everyone in the world. And he not only had one kund, he had hundreds of kunds, and he had hundreds of qualified Brahmins. And they were performing mantras very properly, and offering ghee and offering grains. And then 9 saints came, the Yogendras. It's said in the Bhagavatam that when these saints arrived, they were so effulgent with Krishna consciousness that they were even brighter than the flames that were coming from thousands of Jagyakunds. And immediately Maharaj Nimi saw saints had come. And so he said, we will stop this Jagya for some time and we will inquire from saints, because that is our real business, to hear instructions from saintly personalities. And he was asking so many questions and he was receiving so many answers, but then he wanted to know about the different incarnations for the different ages. And Karabhajan Muni, when he was speaking about the avatar or the saint, or the incarnation of Krishna for this age, he said, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnaih sankirtana-prayair yajantihi sumedashaha. He said, the incarnation in this age is exactly the same Krishna who came in the last age. But he's not black, he's gold. And just like Krishna came in the last age surrounded by all of his associates and his weapons and so forth and so on, he's done that in this age. And then he concluded by saying, what is the process of worship? And he didn't say Agnihotra Jagya, he didn't say Gyan, he didn't say Karma, but he said Yajnaih sankirtana-prayair yajantihi sumedashaha. And Srila Prabhupada, when he would speak, oftentimes he would say this word sumedashaha. That means good intelligence. But Prabhupada sometimes in his classes he would say, if a person still has some brain substance, because Kali Yuga is so detrimental to everyone, he said if a person still has a brain, that they'll perform this worship of the Supreme Person by the chanting of his holy name. So this has been a great Jagya that's been performed here. And it's not only been for our benefit, but it's been for the benefit of the entire universe. The sound vibration that's been created in this hall has benefited every living being in the universe. That's how powerful this Jagya is. I've been staying off my phone, but between kirtans I check for a second. I just got one text from a lady in a remote town in South Africa, and she said, tell Achyuta Gopi I was dancing so madly during her kirtan, I was knocking things off the shelf in my lounge. So powerful. But still, despite the fact that this chanting is so powerful, sometimes we feel we need some extra mercy. You know, many years ago, I was known for being a cook. And back in the 70s and back in the 80s in Vrindavan, sometimes I would cook for 5,000 people. Well, it was my passion. I loved to do it, and you can see that I love to eat. So I love cooking. I love cooking for the Vaishnavas. I love cooking for Krishna. But sometimes on these big feasts, we'd be cooking puris for 5,000 people. And, you know, with the temple devotees, you couldn't get enough puri rollers, you know, to roll puris for 5,000 people. So I would get Matajis from villages to come in, and for the feast, we would, you know, they would roll puris, then they would get their 25 rupees when the day was over. You know, it was very different back then. And sometimes I'd have 50 Matajis rolling puris and just going into the ghee constantly. And there would be very, very old Matajis. And sometimes there'd be those young Matajis, village girls, who are 13 years old, 14 years old, with their first baby. Because that's the way things were in the villages long ago. And they would put their baby to the side and start rolling puris, and baby would be asleep. And at some point, baby would wake up and start crying. So then, you know, the old grannies would pick up the baby, the real professional grannies. And they would start trying all their tricks to get the baby to be silent. No success. They'd pass the baby to another granny. No success. Pass the baby to another granny. No success. But only until that baby came into the arms of its own loving mother did the baby become satisfied and very pacified and silent and happy and fulfilled. And so when we chant this maha-mantra, Krishna naturally is the Lord of our life. But to attain the Lord of our life, Srila Prabhupada said, we cry for the mercy of Mother Radha. We cry for Hare, which is Srimati Radharani. And we become embraced by the mercy of Sri Radha. Then we become pacified and satisfied and assured that by her grace we will attain Krishna's devotional service. Long ago when I was young in Vrindavan, I asked one elderly saint, how is it that I will ever be able to see Krishna and serve Krishna? And he said, that's very easy. He said, always keep Sri Radha's feet in your heart. And if you do that, Krishna will always come running to you. So now what we'll do is we'll sing a prayer to Sri Radha, glorifying Sri Radha. And we'll be glorifying her, and naturally we will be calling for her mercy, and pray that she'll just give us one glance from the corner of her eye. And we know that if we just get that one sidelong glance, then all of our perfection in devotional service and the attainment of Krishna's lotus feet will be fulfilled. So we'll be chanting the Radha Kripa Kataksha Stotram. Everybody please enthusiastically join in. Hare Krishna.